All right, Willie P, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right, Mike.
Hey, Kuz, could you feel a difference in the team in the second half from the first half? Was there anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I think we just weren't connected defensively at the level we were kind of supposed to be. Individually, everybody made mistakes, and collectively with those, made the team defense suffer a little bit. I think that was probably the biggest issue that we had. Outside of the other things, but I mean, things that we can control, probably that.
Kuz, I don't want to necessarily conflate this to this game, but is there any kind of difference when you're traveling city to city and not really leaving the room? Does that take a different kind of mental toll on you or anybody in the NBA from what you've seen so far?
No, I don't think so. I think, obviously it still is a mental toll. Everybody, is locked away in their rooms and, it's still a pandemic out here. So, that's not an excuse to lose at all, but, just everyday human life. Yeah, for sure. It's always going to be a mental toll.
All good.
Hey, Kuz, I know your mom did not come to the bubble last year. What was it like to have her in the crowd tonight and be able to see one of your games live? And did that make any difference for you, especially in the starting lineup?
I bet she was very, very happy to be there. A couple of my cousins came as well. My mom's been going through a tough time recently. One of her best friends has passed away. So I'm sure that, her seeing her boy start, playing the Pistons where I'm from means everything to her. So I'm glad that she was able to, be there for that.
Bill?
Hey, Kyle. You've been in the league for long enough now to know that one game is not necessarily an indicator of where you guys are going as a team or anything like that. But just knowing that, and you had games like this even last year and you won the championship, but how does a game like this hit you in the moment? And does that experience help you not take it too hard?
I mean, obviously you don't want to lose. You never want to lose any game. And then on top of that, to a struggling team like this, you never want to lose, obviously, on the road. Our mantra is we don't want to lose 2 games in a row. And, at the end of the day, things happen. It's the NBA. You're not always going to bring your A game. You're not always going to win. Losing is a part of basketball. And like you said, last year, same thing. We had a long road trip. I think we lost 4 in a row and still won a championship. So, obviously, now's the time people want to speculate and do this and that. But, we've been there before. And, just got to find our way. It's a brand new team. And we're going to have struggles along the way. And that's just the beauty of the journey.
Dave?
Kyle, I want to stay on that subject if we could. Obviously, you guys have the experience of winning the championship, which I imagine would raise your standard of what you expect as a group. But you've also had the experience of recognizing that January is not July. So how do you guys balance that where you want to have a professional response to this, but also not necessarily dwell on it?
You don't want to dwell on it, obviously, because the best thing about the NBA, we play 72 games, really 82, but 72 this year. So we got another crack at it, 36, 48 hours. But, it kind of just is what it is. We're a brand new team. We're playing like 14 people. So, it's a tough situation. Obviously we're working through things. The coach staff is trying to figure out rotations and, figure out what works, what's best, what players tend to play with, certain lives. And, that's just the point of the season we're in,
Yep.
Last 2, Dan?
Hey, Kyle, how much better do you think this team will be once that stuff gets ironed out? Once some of the newness is fully gone and guys are completely comfortable with one another and roles are more clearly defined? How much better do you think this team can be?
I mean, that's just the beauty of the regular season. I think from a media fan perspective, obviously there's something to talk about when we lose 2 in a row and, guys are struggling and whatnot. But, when you're in the trenches within the organization, in the foxhole with the team and the staff, we like to use the regular season as, a rehearsal, I would say, for the playoffs. That's something that I learned last year from Jason Kidd. He's always said that, the regular season is just for rehearsals for the playoffs. You got to figure out what works and what doesn't, especially for a team like us. We don't practice at all. We never practice. Everything's all film related because we got a lot of high IQ guys that, can translate something from a TV to the court. So a lot of times, especially during regular season, our practice is, sometimes the game. And, this is how we figure it out. That's how we figure it out. So one day at a time, don't dwell, even kill, get back to work. That's the best thing about it.
Last question, Rachel.
Because you guys can't do stuff that you might normally do on the road, like go out to dinner or things like that. What can you do when you're on a long road trip like this to hang out with each other and have that bonding time?
Man, you don't do much. It's not too much bonding. Obviously, NBA has us with these very, very stiff regulations to keep everyone safe. Obviously, we have our little contract tracing bells and, just being safe and being precautious. You don't want to be around too many people to get the team conflicted. When you see a team like Washington have to postpone games, 6, 7, 8 people in the organization, that will hurt you, especially when you have championship aspirations. And, this season is much different because every game kind of matters when you're talking about seeding and positioning. So, having an outbreak, could be the difference, especially in the West. We finishing 2 and 6. And, hopefully we don't get to that point, but, we kind of just are professional about it and stay safe and, keep it simple.
I don't know how the rules work. Can you play like cards from 6 feet apart?
I mean, that would make sense, but then you're touching your cards. So, I'm not sure the NBA would like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you.